All right, we're just going to cut to the chase with this question. Are you pregnant?
We're Marissa, Nathan, Hensley, and JJ. We sold our house in 2015 and moved into an RV full-time to live a life of less junk, more journey. Life is a journey. Let go and get going.
What's up, fellow journeyers? Today we're answering 15 of your biggest questions in 15 minutes.
Thank you guys so much for all your questions and helping us out with this video on Instagram, Facebook, Patreon.
We do have some big news. We're going to share that at the end of the video. We cannot wait to share that with you guys. But we also have some big questions. And we're starting with one we've gotten quite a bit about. Are you pregnant? I don't know, what do you think it's like, the emotional mood swings and the food cravings, or I don't know what, but are you pregnant? And I can answer this one really quickly. No, I'm not.
You're not pregnant?
I'm not pregnant. There we go. Now
I don't believe I am either. So
as far as we know, yeah. As far as we know, neither of us is pregnant.
But yeah, that would be a huge surprise. But I think for now it's all good.
We even got other questions related to this. Will there be more babies? We don't plan on that happening. I don't know. We don't actually know, but like, do we plan on getting a dog? Well, we kind of already have a dog, and when he's naked, especially, his name is Judah.
JJ, can you say bye-bye?
Yeah.
We're already cleaning up pee and poop and the whole deal. So no, like, we're not planning on more babies. We're not planning on a dog right now.
We'll see what the future holds.
Second question is from Snoring Wrinkles. That is a great name, by the way. How do you maneuver a large rig around? Making a right-hand turn with that size of a rig seems outright terrifying. And it is outright. See what they did there, by the way? That right turn. It's outright
yeah.
terrifying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll be honest, it's outright terrifying for me a lot of the times, too. Marissa has driven the Class A. It was on a straight stretch from rest stop to rest stop, but she did drive it. I do not at all consider myself an expert. I think two things. One thing is, for me, even after years of driving different rigs, different lengths, I do still get nervous. I do still get jitters, especially if I know the next day, this isn't really going to help, is it? But the next day, if we're doing a big city, if we're going to do mountain driving, but those jitters have gotten better over time.
You build your confidence over time.
You do.
We always say start out the smallest you can comfortably live and drive, and then work your way up as you gain your confidence.
It does get better. Start off with easier spots. Don't start off with the Rockies. Don't start off with Washington, D.C., and then work your way up to that.
Pull-through spots will be your friend.
You can do the pull-throughs at the beginning. There's no shame in the pull-through spots at the beginning. perpetuallypinkmom asks, how far in advance do you plan your trips, and what do you typically use? An app, good old pen and paper, or some sort of digital device? Yeah, we use all the above. Well, actually not pen and paper as much, maybe, as the other ones. The way we do our routes, and we're going to do an entire video on this thing, because
we got a ton of questions about route planning.
It's a big deal, especially now with things being maybe a little more crowded. We use Google Maps is like our kind of go-to main thing we use. We use Google Maps. We create our own map, which you can do in Google Maps. I tell Marissa, and she does it cheerfully. Like I say, you just pin everything you want to do. But part of the key of that is the things that are most important, I tell her to pin in red.
We star it.
We star it, and then once we have that map, I see where she wants to go. I see what's most important. Then it's my job to go through and figure out, well, how are we going to get there? What route do we take? Where do we stay? We don't book a ton of stuff ahead, but there are some things you do have to book ahead.
If there is a specific campground or a specific place that you want to get in, you definitely need to book ahead for that.
Jeff asked, how do you handle negativity, i.e. trolls, on your channel and Facebook pages? You guys always seem so positive. Well, you don't see us crying off the camera. You do see us crying on the camera as well, I guess. But
that's why we got the first question.
Yeah, but okay, I'm going to blur this out, but what I'm going to show you guys is a screenshot of, YouTube has since taken our comments away, but this is a blur of all the things that people have said to us that I've had to pre-filter out of comments, because they cannot and should not ever be seen in anybody's comment section. We've had things said to us, I think, behind a keyboard that would never be said in person. I mean, but you need to realize we are real people, and everybody you see on YouTube and everything, I mean, they're all real people. They have real feelings. We have real feelings too.
So I think what helps me is to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
It's really hard because you can see, 9 positive comments and the 1 negative, and it's hard not to focus on that 1 negative, but I think focusing on those 9 encouraging messages. So when you guys reach out and give us the positivity, that's what we focus on.
Venus, like the planet, This is great, man. I'm enjoying just the names on it. Do you think you'll ever go back to a sticks and bricks home?
We have two things that fit the criteria for what we believe will be our lifetime. We always want to live small, and we always want to travel. So whatever
less junk, more journey, right?
Yeah, less junk, more journey is definitely our mantra. So we see ourselves always just traveling, exploring, living just simply so that we're able to do those things. But I think at the same time, that route may change on how we navigate that, or how we find ourselves exploring may change over time. So we love the RV lifestyle. We don't see ourselves changing at any point anytime soon. We're absolutely loving it, but for the rest of our lives, those are the two criteria.
Freshly Vintage Travels, what do each of your extended families think of what you're doing, especially the grandparents?
That's a great question. Let's ask my mom. All right, Mom. So what do you think about us living in an RV and our crazy lifestyle?
Well, I think it's wonderful. I think you've gotten to see a lot of beautiful places, and I've gotten to go to a few of those trips. Places I wouldn't have gotten to see, like the Grand Canyon. And I like the idea of you having a smaller space to maintain. I know when I had my children, the big house was overwhelming. I think it's good. I told you when you mentioned it, you get one chance. That's something you wanted to do, go for it, you know.
Like you said, you get one shot.
I have to cut that out.
Camera Crew 1 asks, what do you guys do for church? And we got several different variations of this question. For a lot of you guys, I know this changed over the last year, even if you're in a sticks and bricks house. For us, it didn't change drastically with RV travel. We've done a variety of things. I think the one thing that maybe stays as the hub of what we do the most often is to do something together as a family. Sometimes we watch something together as a family and talk about it as a family. Sometimes I put something for the kids on that they watch and they learn from, and I ask them questions about it while Marissa and I do our own thing, and then we come back together.
We also have the flexibility to visit churches on the road. A lot of RVers get together and they do services together, or even some campgrounds will hold those at times. I definitely had this question when we started RVing. It was a concern of ours, and we never wanted to do anything that would keep us from growing, but I can absolutely say that we have really grown. We've met people from all over the country, all over the world, that have really helped us grow, showed us new ways of thinking, and I love meeting new people and hearing about their faith journey. So it's actually been a really growing process through that. Oh, and that's when having a home base has really been a key part of our journey as well, because when we do come back to home base, we get to attend our home church and stay involved that way. And it's been a great mix for us.
Kate MC0317, how has it been to be disconnected from normal life and normal relationships and family? We're looking to go full-time in June and are worried about losing sight of normalcy. And I think this segues pretty well from what Marissa was talking about before. For us, because we have so much normal life and normal relationships in one area, we've set up our home, what we call our home base, which is water, electric, and sewer, and just a place for us to pull in. And we just totally immerse ourselves in that normal life and normal relationships whenever we're in Tennessee, which ends up being a fourth or a third of the year at different times of the year for holidays, birthdays. And so that I think that's what we've done. And it's been good because we want our kids to have those close relationships with their cousins, with their grandparents, you know, with their family and their friends.
And the same for me, even as an adult. I mean, I have really close relationships. I'm super close with my family. There's 7 kids in our family, so really close with them. And I feel like having the home base has just answered so many of those questions to us. We're able to come back, spend a month, reconnect with those relationships, you know, for us as adults or as our children as well, and kind of get the best of both worlds in that.
What do you use for internet service? We've been traveling for 2 months and go through our data very quickly, which, I mean, if you're streaming in 4K or, you know, if you're doing just about anything, checking your email just about, it seems you're chugging through that data. So for us, we bought a grandfathered, which is like the super old truly unlimited, never capped Verizon plan right before we hit the road. We do not regret that. We own the plan. The problem is it's a month-to-month contract. It could be shut down at any time. And that's what's so hard about this stuff. It changes so fast. We also have an AT&T Mobility, which is like an unlimited plan as well that we use. So that's like the AT&T and Verizon side of it. But truthfully, what we have, the two things I just mentioned, they may be super difficult to get. They may or may not be out there. They may or may not be available. RVmobileinternet.com. Chris and Cherie eat, sleep, drink. They know all this stuff there. They'll tell you the ins and outs of buying these plans and using these plans and the gear you need. Even if I do a full video on it, I would still say RVmobileinternet.com because it changes so often. SBC Forever asks, this is for Hensley. What do you like most about living in the RV life, and what do you like most about being a big sister?
Oh.
That we could go anywhere.
Yeah?
Do you think it's cool that your home has wheels? Yeah.
You can see your friends everywhere we go.
Yeah, that's true. You got lots of friends all over the country now, don't you? Isn't that crazy?
I know. That's cool to even think about. Friends we never would have met otherwise if it wasn't for traveling, right?
And then also, like, what do you like most about being a big sister?
It's that I get to play with my little brother.
You like playing with him?
I like that I can do big girl things for my parents.
Yeah,
That's true. You're a big helper, aren't you? Sometimes. Most of the time.
Ben asked, Nathan, can you do a video on your navigation setup? I noticed it looked like you're using an iPad mini. I am done with my Garmin, and it's taking the dumbest route possible. Now, to be fair, I've seen everything take the dumbest route possible. We've seen Google do it. We've seen Apple do it. We've seen Garmin do it. But I do see, on average, I see Google taking the most logical route with the best updates as far as traffic, wrecks, and slowdowns. And that's what we use large majority of the time. Is we use Google Maps. And I have it on iPad mini on my dash. I do also have a Garmin every once in a while. If I'm going through a place that I think, oh, this is a little bit of a sketch, I want to have the Garmin be here with me as sort of like another shotgun driver to show me if there's any low-hanging bridges. I mean, is the Garmin cheap? No, $300, $400, $500. But is it cheap to replace your two ACs or your roof that got peeled off because you went under? That's way more expensive. Yeah. So I think it depends. I try to check my routes beforehand, before I leave that day, and that kind of determines if I add anything to that mix. But like 95% of the time, iPad mini, Google Maps. We got a couple of gear questions. I'm going to bunch these all together. What program are you using to edit your video? I use Final Cut Pro 10. What camera are you using now?
I don't even know. We switch so often.
We don't switch that often. Right now we're using a Sony a7S III. I am thrilled.
It's great.
Absolutely thrilled with it. It's great. She's like, it's great until we change again.
Until we change. I just like consistency.
We just consistently have a camera. What workout or weights do you recommend? Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, let's see if I can pick this up on the camera. This is what we're currently... And consistently, we've probably had this most of the time we've traveled. Oh my gosh. So this is 100 pounds. I think it's like 50 pounds. This is a 50-pound power block. It's like an adjustable dumbbell. And we've added... I picked this up again. We've added this yellow handle that you can get on Amazon.
To make it a kettlebell.
I do not use that enough. To make it a kettlebell.
For me, I've loved using certain apps. I use a women's workout. I think it's what it's called. I can use it on my phone. So if the kids are playing at a playground, I can do a workout with a picnic table. I love doing any body weight stuff because you can do that anywhere. You can do that at any campground. YouTube videos are really consistent because we can have them with us anywhere. I love Mad Fit and Pamela Reif videos. So, and Nathan just does a lot of body weight.
And on the gear stuff, lessjunkmorejourney.com/gear. And you can see most all this gear we're talking about. If you have a gear question, or if the gear is not on there, let us know. And if it's something we consistently use, there's a good chance we will add that to the gear list. David says, I just saw the video of Less Junk More Journey talking about nomadnearme.com and I'm interested. However, we are anti-Apple, so how's it going? Are we getting closer to launching for Android? Yes, we are still working on that. We brought in 2 more part-time guys to help us work on that. We do know there's a huge demand for Android. It is our #1 priority as far as Nomad Near Me app. If you want more information about Nomad Near Me, just go to nomadnearme.com. The app basically exists to help RVers meet and connect with other RVers in person. Attempting RV Normal asks, do you really feel that the less you have makes the journey easier? I think for me, it's a lot like working out or eating healthy. Is it easier in the beginning? or even along the way. It's not like all of a sudden you work out, you get in shape, and you're done. Like, you have to continue to work out or eat healthy. So it's not easier in the beginning. It's not always the easiest, but zero regrets as far as what you get in return for living small or having less junk and being able to have more journey.
It just offers so much flexibility, ease of mind. And I love my stuff. I do. It's been such a battle for me. And like you said, it's been this muscle I've had to work every day, you know, since we've hit the road. But it's just been a very freeing experience. And I honestly don't regret a single thing.
Okay, last question. This leads into the big news that we've got. I'm sure you can probably figure it out based on the question. Hollywood Happenings asked, would you guys ever consider renting, and I'm sure it's RV in Hawaii, and travel around there?
Well, you know, Hawaii is our 50th state.
We got one more state.
One more state, and then we've camped or RV'd or visited all 50 states. So let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah, we're going to Hawaii. We asked about shipping our fifth wheel over and just going around Honolulu and these tiny roads, and no, you can't even do that. So we are planning to fly in Hawaii. It's going to be a combination of Airbnbs, but we do also hope to rent either we haven't got it lined up. We don't know if it's a van or just a Jeep with a tent or what. Like, you're just in Hawaii. I mean, it's like $50 for an apple. So like, we're still figuring out the logistics, but we are going to Hawaii this summer. I think it's gonna be epic. We cannot wait to show it to you guys.
So we're excited to make this our 50th state celebration.
Yes.
We will be starting our 7th year on the road, so that's crazy. We still feel like we've only scratched the surface. We've got so much more exploring to do, but we're so pumped about Hawaii. If you have any recommendations, send them our way. We would love to hear all about Hawaii as we're planning our next adventure there this summer.
So if there's any of these questions you want more elaboration on, or maybe you want more information about that, we are following up this video when it comes out, 5 p.m. Central today, with a live Q&A. It's only the second time we've ever done this on YouTube. It'll be at 6 p.m. Central of when this video comes out. We'd love to have you there chatting with us. I'll have a link to it to take you there. In the meantime, if you're watching this before the chat starts, feel free to watch. We've got a playlist of like our Q&As where we've answered questions like this and tons of other questions if you want that to keep you busy until the live chat. We love doing this. Hope it's been valuable for you. Until next time, let go and get going.